Salutations, boys and girls, and kiddos of all ages. Welcome to another Not Your Average Toy Review. Just a simple showcasing of all the things that I like to collect and showcase in the form of action figures and toys. Channel or video of posing action figures with Toy the Poser with me, your host, Toy the Poser. And also thank you to all returning watchers and to my new video watchers. And for all my newcomers, let me get right into the video and show you exactly what we do and how we do it. So, behind the camera, I go into giant mode. Whoop. Okay, and as you can see here, we have a new character that hasn't been made, and that is the Spider-Man villain, the Rose. Okay. I would put them just on a rotating base, but we'll get to all that later. All right. And for those that like to read back of packages and see what it says, there you go. A quick little backing up of the character. That's a little too close. Okay. So how about we do it this way? Yeah, scanning up, I guess, is better than scanning down or moving it down. All right. And for those who wants to see the barcode, because there's no bottom of the box, that's just the side and the front of the packaging, which the Rose comes with a couple of accessories. Just a couple of new ones, it looks like, underneath. So yeah, that's fix our camera back. Put him, there. All right, let's just magical poof this guy out of the package and, get him to do what he need to do. And by the way things look, it's not going to look like it's going to be a whole lot of posing with this guy. So we'll see. Okay. Magical poof. Okay. So there we have it. Okay. And like I said, even though I'm going to be cold posing, let's explain his accessories, I guess, which the Rose comes with a rose. Okay. And stem. Yep. All right. 2 alternate hands. Once again, like I say, we've seen this type of hand before. It's your regular gun holding hand. But this one, never seen who ever had a thing like this, so I'm going to assume this is his. And I was sadly mistaken because I was going to say I think this is his Rose holding hand, but it doesn't separate. So that's a whole lot of stupid. Okay. I think. I guess that's how he's supposed to hold it, because why would you put it in this hand? I mean, I guess you could, but because that's where he's gonna hold his gun. All right, but I guess we'll figure that out later. Speaking of guns, yeah, although people like to complain about. Now, I'm not a gun guy, so I don't know if this is what a real gun or what type of gun it is and what it's if it looks like what it's supposed to look like. But from my understanding, I've never seen a action figure or Marvel Legends give us one like this. Okay, so if this is what a real gun or what type of gun it's supposed to be, and this is what it's supposed to look like, then there you have it. I think it looks cooler than some of the other guns that we had. So yeah, speaking, and of course with his long coat, as I was saying, remember, kiddos, heat up your action figures, because when they come out of the package, they are pretty stiff and they become brittle, which makes it hard for you to move them, and sometimes it will break. Okay, and although I wasn't expecting him to be able to separate his legs that far apart because of the coat, but his coat is kind of, I mean, not the hard plastic, it's soft. There, wish it was a little softer, but it's softer than like the average capes or hair that they put on action figures. So yeah, there was a creator that modded the coat, and he would, I guess, cut like a little bit off right here, and I guess like put a split in the back or something like that, so the Rose could, I guess, be a better dancer. But yeah, I got an idea. I mean, I'll show you in a second or a little later of why I think that you might can. It's a way you can probably get away with that without doing that. Okay, so let's put him in a cold pose. I'm gonna try to cause heat. I mean, since he has weapons and stuff, I'm gonna switcheroo his hands. Okay. Hey, you, get it together. All right, let's put him in a cold pose, and well, that might be it, but I think we can do better than that and put him on a rotating base. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Look at me. All right, and the coldest of cold poses I could pretty much get him in. Okay, here we are, and now it's time to bring in the monitor to see and give you a brief little history or spread some knowledge on who the Rose is. Okay, so bringing in the monitor. Whip. Okay, created by Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. The dad. You know what that means. Anyway, in Amazing Spider-Man number 83, they created Richard Fisk, the son of Wilson Fisk. Okay, like what I did there. All right, so Amazing Spider-Man number 83, 1970. That's when Richard Fisk, the Wilson Fisk son, him, was introduced and created, or introduced to comics, first appeared in comics. Richard's parents, Wilson and Vanessa Fisk, sent them away to Switzerland for school. And while he was there, he found out that his dad was the notorious crime boss, the Kingpin. And for whatever good reason, that I guess embarrassed young Richard and in front of all his peers. So he went on a skiing trip, and there he had an accident, and all his friends and everybody thought he had perished. I'm trying to use different words. So yeah, they thought he was gone, baby. They thought he died. I try. But anyway, yeah, so, but he did come back as the Schemer. And as the Schemer, his first our deal was to try to overthrow his father, the Kingpin, and I guess take control of everything. I guess because that's what you do when you've been embarrassed in front of your friends by your father. You try to take over his criminal enterprise. But oddly enough, he did actually succeed at it and did, take over his father's criminal enterprise. However, it sent Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, into, I guess, a coma or something. It made him fall ill, and which made Richard have a change of heart. And to find a cure to help his father, he joined Hydra as... Oh, wait, by the way, I just wanted to say that Vanessa Fisk, the Kingpin's wife, Richard's mother, she wasn't technically or really a bad guy or a criminal, anything like that. She was just a loyal wife to her husband. But anyway, Richard joined the evil Nazi regime group called Hydra to help find a cure for his father. I don't know how joining a Nazi group was going to help that, but all right. He did join Hydra, and while he was in Hydra, he grew to ranks to become Supreme Hydra. I guess when you go up in rank, you get a cape to your uniform. All right. So yeah. But he eventually did help his father cure him using Hydra's resources. And when the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, got all healthy again, he basically overtook Hydra. And they needed, I guess, Captain America to help defeat the Kingpin. So, no, wait. They found out that they was being used by the Red Skull, and the Kingpin and his son teamed up with Captain America to fight the Red Skull and defeat him. Okay, so yeah, straighten that out. And during that battle, Richard was critically injured, and his father placed him in suspended animation, and which later cured him. And he did it by siphoning off some of Spider-Man's life force into him. So I don't know how that worked, but it worked. Okay. But even though they did kind of reconcile their differences, Wilson and Richard, that is, it didn't last long. So this is when later on Richard adopted the identity of the Rose. Okay. All right. So as the Rose, Richard becomes and continues to be a menace and a criminal menace and a thorn in that was a pun. In our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man side. Okay. So there you have it. And that was as brief as it can be. I usually don't get through them that fast. But anyway, the Rose is still just a regular human being. Even though he was pretty much cured by his father using Spider-Man's life force, it didn't do nothing. It didn't give him any superpowers or anything like that. So he's just a bad man with a mask. All right. There were 3 other people that took on the mantle of the Rose after Richard Fisk, and those 3 people were a former police detective named Bloom, who took on the mantle after the original Rose, Richard Fisk, had exposed himself, and they was trying to take over Daddy Kingpin's enterprise. And during that time, he died. Okay. So that's the long and short of it. The third Rose was a Daily Bugle reporter named Jake Conover, and he basically became the Rose. Well, before he became the Rose, he got a job interviewing Bullseye when he came out as a criminal, interviewing. Yeah. So, and I guess that's how he got his claim to fame. However, he saved a crime boss, a crime boss's life somehow, and they became friends. And that crime boss, gave him the mantle of being the Rose, or the third version of the Rose. I don't know. Well, the pictures are hard to tell, but you kind of pay attention to that. The suits. I'll explain later. And the fourth and final person that wore the mask and used the title as the Rose was Dr. Philip Alex Hayes. And he became the Rose when he basically lost all his funding and money and in a research for gene, splicing or therapy or something like that. So he turned to a life of crime after that. Anyway, he's in all black and red, of course. And I say all that to say this. Whoop. Whoop. Anyone that doesn't know me by now should always know this, that I personally hate getting characters that I've repaints or recreation of action figures of characters that I already have. However, whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, and you can, all right, as I was saying, you can improvise, I guess, when it comes to, if you just don't want to get 4 different Rose action figures, you can, like I said, improvise. You can get the Mr. Knight action figure, Marvel Legends Mr. Knight action figure from the Conju Build-A-Figure wave. All right, and as you can see, let me camera adjust for a minute here. All right, to say this, you can take as you can see, he's in all white suit. Never seen the Moon Knight TV show, so shame on me. But yes, as you can see, he's in all white suit, and he has on a mask. So you can, if you just want to do some customizing one day, you can paint this mask purple to match the Rose, or you can just release this one. All right, take the head off this guy, and take the head off other Rose, replace that, and snap-a-rooski, stick kind of loose. All right, and there you go. You got yourself another Rose in a new suit. And yeah, and on top of that, although he has a shorter coat, his leg still doesn't go out as far as that other, the original Rose. But the only thing about these, I'm not gonna rant today. All right, I'm just basically showing you some customizing options. So to all the people that like customizing and creating stuff or whatever and doing things, I love kit bashing. You'll probably see some of that on the channel one day, or more of it. But right now, let's get through all this stuff. But anyway, yes, that can be your second Rose action figure if you just want to Rose in a new suit. All right, and take that off. Okay, and put Mr. Knight's head back on. But like I said, you can get a second one of these if you have one, or whatever, and yeah, make you a Rose number 2 version out of the way. Okay. The second thing I would say, now this character is a little hard to find because would probably be a little tough to get. However, the suit or the body mode or something like that, they come on a lot of different characters. Okay, so he shouldn't be hard to find because they have the body bulk with the suited characters with the bad feet. Okay, so that's hard to stand. All right, but even though like his neck's exposed and his where did he come from? I think was it a 2-pack or 3-pack with hold on, I'll go double check. That's what it was. The Inner Demon, where it came in the Marvel Legends Inner Demon and Mr. Negative 2-pack. So yeah, out of here, whoop whoop. Okay, but anyway, with that being said, what were we saying? Take off the head of this one and put on another Mr. Negative head. I'm sorry, the Rose action figure head, and you got the Rose in a new suit, or a second version of the fourth one, because like I said, remember he wore Alex wore a black suit. All right, so there you have it. All right, and I guess that will be a second or third or fourth. Now I'm forgetting the numbers now. But anyway, as I was saying, if you got some spare parts, you can make a Rose action figure by just swapping off the heads, giving them new bodies, and even if you as like I got this Raiders of the Lost Ark Hasbro what is his name? Indiana Jones figure in a suit. And I can't remember the reason why I got it, but and by the way, that was funny. I changed the neck peg on it just to get, because the original neck peg was short and it didn't really fit Marvel Legends. But I put a slightly longer neck peg in it, peg in his neck, and Bob's your uncle when you switch the heads, even though it's still kind of loose, but it does have that bottom neck rotation thing. So that was cool. So yeah, you got another man in a suit wearing a mask, being the Rose again. Okay, so there's another version of the Rose in a suit. All right, so basically I'm just saying, all right, take that off and put back our original guy on here. There we go. All right, and let's take this off before it falls out, because it's not loose. I mean, it's not tight in his hand. We can go ahead and set him up for some size comparison. So yeah, I was just giving out some really cool ideas in case you want to play with your toys and hash out your Legends Marvel Universe a little better. So okay, so let's get this camera back like it's supposed to be, and size up Richard, the original one, the first Rose. All right, jeez, come on, camera, there we go. Okay, so all right, size comparison time, and representing our 1/18 scale. Whoop! It's Michelangelo from the Viacom Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line, standing in at 4 inches tall. All right, which is a 1/18 scale, and standing in at your average 1/12 scale. Whoop! It's Stan the man, my main man. Stan is at an average 6 inches, which is your average 1/12 scale, okay? And Stan's in the wrong spot, so switch over, Stan. Whoop. All right. And last but not least, coming in at our 1/10 scale action figure size, we have Todd McFarlane from McFarlane Toys, Batman, which is an average 7-inch action figure, which represents 1/10 scale. All right, so which means that our man on duty here, which is the Rose, stands at approximately right. Oh man, I think he's at 6 inches. So at a perfect 1/12 scale, or your average 1/12 scale, 6 inches high. Okay, so all right, everybody, back to your places. Whoop, 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 whoop. And there you have it. All right, so thanks for stopping by, Richard. See you around, my man. Whoop. And that's all for today. So until next video, we'll see you then, where we finish unboxing more action figures and toys that I got in the previous year. All right, so still lots more to go. Until then, ta-ta for now, everyone.